So in today's video we've got Anna, and Anna has come to me from another instructor, and she's doing her test in Borehamwood. It's the first time that she's been in this car. You've had some driving sort of past in Borehamwood.
Yes, I'm from China. I've driven in China for 15 years. Apparently it's different side, which I probably a bit concerned about my instinctive reaction. And for the emergency things, I probably just turn to different side. But I have taken 6 hours driving license before I came to Michael, so hopefully I can pass the test.
That's it, fingers crossed. So from what I've seen so far, Anna's very established as a driver. She knows what she's doing in the car. Handling of the car is very good. Maybe a little bit nervous, but that's because it's a new me compared to a previous instructor, and also it's a new car, probably quite a bit bigger than your other instructor's car as well.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
So that can be a bit off-putting, and because Anna's used to sitting on the left-hand side of the car, position tends to be quite a common problem when converting to a right-hand drive vehicle, but that hasn't been an issue. So fingers crossed, if we can keep that going, we're in good hands. So we're going to do a Borehamwood test route. It's not one that you've seen so far, but again, it could be one that you could be asked to do on your driving test. Okay, so the test is going to last for 38 to 40 minutes, and during that time we're going to do one manoeuvre plus possibly the emergency stop. We're going to do some independent drive as well, which is either going to be following a sat-nav or following the signs, and if you're unsure of anything you can ask me to repeat.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions?
No, so far so good.
Perfect. So we'll do one of the show me tell me questions first of all. Okay, so how would you check that your power steering is working before a journey?
Power steering, oh, good question. Just for power on.
Okay. Okay, so what should the steering do?
It's maneuverable.
Yeah, so if you switch the engine on,
Yeah.
and you're having to really work the wheel, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
Perfect, yeah, so it should be nice and
Smooth.
yeah,
Flexible like this.
yeah, it should be light.
Okay.
That's it. Perfect, good. Okay, so whenever you're ready,
Okay.
we'll drive on.
Observe first. 6 point.
Great start, and then checks the right shoulder really clearly there. Let's hope that continues. And turn right, please.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really nasty junction that a lot of people fail for. There are often parked vehicles either side of the car park exit, so just creep and peep, take your time, and as you can see, Anna's leaning forward here to increase her visibility, so really good job. Just take your time. And park one car length before the next car. Don't worry about the driveway on this occasion, you can block it. That's fine, thank you very much.
Or should I park on this?
It's completely up to you. Okay, thank you, and drive when safe to do so. Unfortunately, this time Anna doesn't check her right shoulder, so therefore picks up a driver fault for moving off safety. Good to see that right mirror being checked before pulling out. Great job. Roundabouts ahead, turn left, first exit. turn right. Anna unfortunately picks up her first serious fault here for speeding. You'll see that I check the speedo, then I check again, and on the GPS, as you can see in the bottom, it said 35 miles per hour. On the display on the car, that's 38, so it's considerably over. It's important to remember when you're driving on the downhill, use a lower gear. So if you're in a manual car, use say third on this type of road, maybe second because of the speed bumps. In an automatic car, you can manually select a lower gear, or in a hybrid, use B for braking, and that will stop the car from picking up so much speed so easily. Anna's approach to this roundabout is a bit excessively slow. We can see there's nothing coming from the opposite junction, so I'd get marked down as undue hesitation. At the roundabout ahead, turn left, first exit. What I'd like you to do is follow the signs and continue to follow the signs for Elstree.
Okay.
Anna acknowledges the right turn only arrow late and swerves to the left before checking the mirror, and because of that she'll get a driver fault for use of mirrors, change of direction. Remember, whenever you have the option, always go for the furthest most left lane, and you'll see that become an issue later on this block. Anna's speed starts to creep up again on this uphill. As you can see, the display shows 34, which is about 36, 37 on the display. So it's really important that you don't allow the car to start to accelerate on these downhills. Take control of the car. So which way are we going here?
Turn left.
Okay. So obviously a bit of a hint there. Anna's indicator was quite late, so that would be a driver fault for signals timed. No, I just wanted to make sure you saw the sign for Elstree.
Oh, okay. Am I right?
Yes.
If it's 30, the speed limit 30 on this road.
I can't say anything.
Oh, okay.
And the examiner won't tell you what the speed limit is either. It's down to you to make a decision. So in this situation, there are street lights, but there are no other signs. So that is a good prompt that the speed limit is 30. Uh-oh, got into a keep clear. Now, if Anna were to move forward here and get to the stop line, yes, she would be close to the van and would get a driver fault for adequate clearance. But by stopping on a keep clear, that's a compulsory serious fault for response to road markings. So think, what's the lesser of the two evils, and go for that. But ideally, don't get so close to that van. Keep a bigger distance, especially when you can see all of these road markings, so you've got more time to acknowledge what's going on.
Reverse. That will be definitely a fail.
As Anna pulls away here, she looks left and right and goes quite slowly through the crossroads. So although it's not a driver fault, it's making me think that she's unsure how to deal with crossroads. And later on in this mock test, that will become more apparent. And we can see that speed is creeping up again on this downhill. So definitely something that Anna needs to control is her speed management on downhills. Okay, so we're no longer following the signs for Elstree. At the roundabout ahead, turn left, first exit. So we can see there's a red car coming around the roundabout with a right indicator, but Anna doesn't look right at all here, and therefore picks up a serious fault for observations. Remember, even if it's safe, still turn your head and actually check. But on this occasion, with the car being there, it's obvious that the planning didn't happen. Also, due to the examiner not giving any direction, we were due to go straight ahead. But because she's done her mirrors and her left signal for the left turn, it's not an issue. But remember, if nothing is said, go straight or follow the road signs. Roundabouts ahead, I'd like you to follow the signs for standard. Now the vehicles coming from her right are coming from the junction opposite and aren't indicating right, so we could have gone here. So this would be a hesitation fault. What then happens is she pulls away when there is a vehicle coming, and you'll see how quickly that vehicle catches up in the rear view camera now. Now, if she got a bit more speed here, again, she might have got away with it. But what happens now is the big problem. She forgets which way she's going and then slows down quite dramatically in the roundabout. That could be quite dangerous. So she also gets a serious fault for appropriate speed. Now I'd like you to follow the signs for edgeware. Take the next road on the left, please. I'd like you to park on the right hand side of the road. Unless it's right at the end of the test and the examiner asks you to park up on the right, you know you're getting the park on the right manoeuvre. I'd advise you not to pull up behind another vehicle, especially a van, because you're limiting your visibility. Keep a big gap, make it easier for yourself. Thank you. So what I'd like you to do now is your manoeuvre. So I'd like you to reverse the car back 2 car lengths, keeping it close to the curb, please. Anna's observations here are very good. She's checking her shoulders, but she needs to maintain that throughout the manoeuvre. And what you'll see is that she only really checks the side mirrors with one quick glance over the left shoulder. She's not checking her right blind spot at all. Now the problem comes when this approaching vehicle comes near, because she should be stopping, and because the car is still moving at that point, it's a compulsory serious fault for observations on the manoeuvre. Remember, any vehicle is approaching, stop. Do another POM or bog routine depending on what you've been taught before pulling away again. Okay, happy with that? Drive on when safe to do so, please. That's better blind spot checks. That's exactly what we want. Now you can see there's an oncoming vehicle, but Anna can't see that. And luckily, because of the car coming from the left, she's had to stop. That's why we always advise carry on reversing, even if it's past the 2 car lengths, just so you get better visibility. At the end of the road, turn left, please. For those of you that have watched my video on hesitation, Anna is a prime example of it. She's only looking right, she doesn't alternate her view, so she can't judge the speed of the vehicle that's approaching, which is why the person behind beeps. You can see we've been here for a long time and nothing's gone past until now. So I'll put a link in the description underneath for the hesitation video. Best way to avoid it though, keep looking right and left repeatedly, and it makes it much easier to judge speed. Anna also cuts the corner here going across the solid white line. The road markings are quite bad there, so she would only get a driver fault. But remember, don't touch the centre white line when turning right. At the end of the road, turn left please. I'd like you to park anywhere on the left where it is safe and convenient to do so, somewhere that you would leave your car. Anna picks up another serious fault here for signals timed, because she uses the indicator and then drives past this road. So if there were to be someone coming out of that junction, it could be quite dangerous because they might think she's turning in and pull out in front of her. So it's important that you pick a space, signal for that space and stick with that space. It also is confusing for the vehicles behind.
Sorry, go ahead.
Turning right. Anna picks up another serious fault here for response to traffic lights, because she's slowing down a lot for a green traffic light and then stops with a vehicle behind. At that point it is quite dangerous and there's a high chance of having an accident. But it's quite clear due to her position and her response to that traffic light that she's not really sure how to deal with crossroads. So again, I'll put a link in the description underneath for the video that talks you through different types of crossroads. Now this particular crossroads is a controlled crossroad, so 9 times out of 10 your traffic light will do the same as the people opposite, and the opposite to the people to your left and right. So when our light's green, the people opposite are in green and the people to your left and right are on red. So here we can see that we have the oncoming vehicle, so we should give way to that. But now there is no oncoming vehicle, so we can go straight into the turn. So if you haven't watched the video already on crossroads, please watch it, because there's a lot of information to take on. Now this is when things start to get quite messy. Anna would have been better off staying in the left lane, but she's done her mirrors and she's moved into the middle lane, which I don't have a problem with. Now on our left hand side, a bit further up, we can see that there is a green square sign, so it's informational, and that shows the lane discipline. So it shows that the middle lane needs to move into the left lane. So as long as Anna pushes some speed off the line, gets ahead of the black car on our left, there is no problem here. Now as the traffic light changes to green, Anna pulls away quicker than the car to the left, but then doesn't build up any more speed. Here we've got the arrows, so she should be moving across, but because the car is still too close, she's driving through the chevrons and then cutting into the right lane. So she picks up a serious fault there for planning. She's now driving in the right lane too slowly, gets a beep from this mini driver, and then they flag her with a hand signal to tell her to move into the left lane. Remember, we are driving in what we nickname the fast lane, so we need to be going faster. So we are now 10 miles an hour below the speed limit. Another vehicle is going past us on the left hand side, so again, serious fault for lane discipline. Now, the instruction is to turn left at the roundabouts. So she checks her mirrors, she signals, but the car behind moves across at the same time. She then gets another beep. Now she hits the brakes and there's a massive truck behind. So I'm now having to prompt her to go faster. So she also got a dangerous fault there for appropriate speed. Remember, when you're changing lane, do not slow down. You could even see the fear in my eyes. And this truck driver is not a happy chappy as he goes past. Roundabouts ahead, straight across, second exit, please. So it's the little one, just where the Morrisons and the... Anna maintains good position throughout this roundabout. She keeps it nice and far to the left hand side, checks her mirrors a good time, and does her indicator at an appropriate time too. Well done. Okay, so this is actually take 2 because my phone decided to stop recording halfway through the debrief. So Anna does know what the situation is with the test. But we're just going to go through this again with you now. So along the route, we picked up 10 driver faults or 10 minors. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it was 9 major faults, whether it's serious or dangerous. So the first ones you already knew about, which was the slowing down in front of the truck.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, now we've already done the debrief, what do we need to do for that situation?
Speed up, and yeah, that's the first rule. And just actually, I should have just keep left in the first place.
Good.
That's the better way. But if I just drive on the wrong way or the right hand side, I need to signal, observe first, signal, and cross the line.
Yep.
Speed up. Never brake. Never brake. Never brake.
Precisely. Good. Okay. So obviously it was a sort of planning issue more than anything. I didn't mind Anna going into the middle lane at that point, as long as the power is there when the traffic light goes green, because it's a merging situation. So the people in the middle lane have to move into the left lane. Because Anna's initial pull away was actually not too bad, but then she sort of slowed it back down again, and that's where the problem came. So if we kept the speed in at that point, we would have had the merge. Because she cut across the chevron section, it got marked down as a serious for planning. Then by staying in the right lane, we got another major there for lane discipline, and we got appropriate speed for slowing down in front of the truck. We got the 2 for use of speed, so that was on the downhill sections. So what do we need to do to stop the car from accelerating on the downhills?
Yes, if I have the function, the B function, it's better to change the B. Otherwise, just come off the gas a little bit to maintain the 30.
Yeah, good. What else could we use?
Slight type on the brake.
Yeah, good. And if your car has a manual gear selection?
Oh yeah, the lower gear.
That's
yes.
it. Perfect. Good. Judgment crossing. So when we're going to go onto that roundabout, what do we need to do?
Judgment crossing. Which one remind me?
So that was when we were hesitating initially, and then when we went, there was a car coming from our right that we slowed down.
Oh yeah, okay. The car signal left, so it's irrelevant for me, right? So I should not wait that long.
Yes. So we could have gone initially.
Speed up. Hard.
Good. Exactly.
Never hesitant.
Exactly that. So again, and I put the speed in straight away, there's no chance that white sort of car truck thing would have been able to catch us up, but because the acceleration was a bit too slow, that was where the problem was. And then as we went round that roundabout, we were trying to work out where to go, wasn't it? Yeah. So again, it's a case of just sticking with your intuition. You know, if you're thinking you're taking the third exit, take the third exit. If it's the wrong one, that's fine, as long as your indicator's correct for that direction. And then on the the reverse maneuver, we got the series.
I was a bit too close to the van in front of me. And then what other mistake?
So it was
I failed to observe a car was driving. I should have just stopped immediately as soon as I observe a car is coming.
Precisely, exactly. So whenever there's any vehicles coming, you must stop on a maneuver, and that's why it's good not to get too close to the vehicle that you're stopping behind, because otherwise you're limiting the amount of visibility you have to the front vehicles. I know obviously with that situation it was from the rear, but don't make it harder for yourself. Okay, so things that I would definitely say you need to work on are knowledge, first of all, on crossroads. So knowing how crossroads work, the different types of traffic lights that are used at crossroads. And again, I've got the video on the channel, so I'll put the link in the description underneath as well. Trusting that accelerator. So I want you to really practice with your instructor racing pullaways. Just use their tires up, use their fuel up, okay? Because it will help. You know, it just gives you that confidence that you know how fast you can go and what possibilities you've got when it comes to actually going. Because some of these junctions, if you don't go fast, you're never going to get a chance. Yeah. And the roundabout right next to the test centre is a prime example of that. It's such a busy roundabout that if you do drive like a 90-year-old, chances are you're never going to be able to go. Yeah. So you need to be able to put that power in. And just keeping a bit more of a gap between you and the vehicles in front, so you give yourself more time and distance to work out what's going on, especially with like the keep clear that we fell in before. So
the keep clear one is a major as well, right?
That's
okay,
it. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that video has helped. I'm so sorry it wasn't a proper debrief. Technology obviously let me down on this one, but if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. And if you want to do a mock test with us as well, feel free to contact us on this email or on the phone number underneath, and we'll help as much as we can. Otherwise, thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.